I want to go over today's only trade, what my thought process was, what my analysis was, and the reason why I entered what I entered and why I exited. Also, we'll do a quick impromptu of what could have been the best setup in hindsight, and then just simply go over the tape. This will serve as a review for today's tape review, pretty much. A little over past couple days, the market ever since it broke above this 59.95, which was a large range that we had ever since kind of like middle of May. The market did rally above, and kind of like shorts have been a little short-lived. These 59.95s have held each time, and the market has supported this low volume area at the 84s that goes into the 70s that we have from news. The market did rally, and ever since this week, I would say shorts have been a little short-lived. We could start on the 9th. The market dipped not into a level of interest, but it did find buying, and then we just rallied higher. Then yesterday, the market also was just creeping higher, did sell off, and then the market immediately catch the bid right here below this. And ever since that, we've been putting in higher highs and higher lows. Now, from this drop overnight, yesterday, the market sold off, and this level acted as resistance once again above it. And today, from news, the market rallied above a 59, I think it was a 60.36 supply or something like that, 3-hour supply, where the market just simply blew past it. And then the market was trading higher before the open on a little bit of a not very strong rally, where we had a low volume node it was somewhere between the 52s to about the 47. So right here, kind of like this area right here was a low volume node that, if selling did step in, I was looking to take the market short, possibly into this pre-market low right there. Or if the market did bounce from it, I was looking to take the market long into this rally-based drop from the drop right here from the news, right? So the market rallied, based, and then dropped. And I want to go over the open, which will be very important right here, because I want to go over what I thought just at the beginning and my entry and my exit. So right at the open, yes, sells off, right? We've been putting higher highs and higher lows since 8:40, which you can see right here. Higher highs and higher lows, and the market just opened lower and started making its way into the low volume area that we have right here, that is pictured pretty much right here. This is the low volume area. It was to the 43s. There were a lot of zero prints too at this area, the 44s. It was just an area that I wanted to see what the market did at it. Did we bounce? Did we sell off into it? What were we going to do? Just at the first couple minutes, yes, it starts moving lower. Noticed, and that was one of my trades on Monday, that the market is selling off, and we could have more downside pressure. But this rally right here, this was not really aggressive selling to me. It was not large size. It was not equivalent to what I would say a weak open in the market. And then we immediately just found support, right? So by, I would say, 9:36 is whenever things start becoming a little more inclined to the bulls. So far from the open, all we can tell is that we're moving lower. We do have a low volume node, but I was not looking to be a seller into this. I actually wanted to be a seller if we moved below the 60-40, which was that previous support. What I noticed then in the next couple minutes was that ES was just building volume right here at the lows, simply building volume. We did break the low. In this minute, we're going to break the low, and then ES is going to start moving higher, right? Break the low over there. I don't know if this bid does get filled. I think it does. It's filled over there. And then in the next minute, ES is going to start moving higher, right at the 60-40 level. So this could have been a possible entry long, targeting that supply at the 60-65s. From here, ES also forms a P shape right there. You can see the volume at the lows, and then the rally that came after that. right? So then we start moving higher, and I'm not long in this yet. I'm not short in this. I just want to, give this a little more context to see if, let's say we pull back and see some signs of buying for this possible long targeting that 60, 65. Now, what I did notice was that after this, it was simply just finding some consolidation at the highs, not really moving higher, possible waiting for a trap, break the low, and then immediately, let's say, reclaim. Now, in hindsight, the best entry was definitely by 9:46 when ES, after consolidating right here, not really moving higher, because you can tell by now we do have some strong buying. Look at that. Look at the amount of the size that came in over there. 1,300 lots hit the offer as we moved higher, so technically could have been an entry as we moved higher from here. But ES did not move higher, so it could have been is that we're actually gonna wait and break the low and then, let's say, reclaim. And that's exactly what we do at 9:46. We will reclaim. I'm not long in this yet, but what I noticed with the aggressive dips have been getting bought immediately, right? And usually I've noticed that whenever they happen, strong at offer trades like large size immediately comes in over there. I think it was the case from this trade. I wanted to see that reclaim above the 40s and possibly get long on a pullback after seeing the weakness, because by now the low volume node is getting filled and we're having selling right here in the market. In hindsight, not really strong selling, so that could have been a sign to get long if we do reclaim, but we're having some selling, and in hindsight the best entry could have been this right here. Look at that tape speeding up over there. Get long above the 40s, stop loss below the low, speculating that after this break, look how the book kind of flipped over there. We broke the low and immediately we're reclaiming over there. You can get the risk of course, it keeps selling off, but the context of that support holding is still valid right here. So if this does find support, truly nothing stopping that into the 60, 57s, right? So at 9:48, 9:49, yes, and actually you could kind of see that here that this was real clear drop. Look at this consolidation that we have right here, and then we have a rally. So this technically could have been a speculation. Getting long is knowing that this could be that possible drop based on a rally, because the market then does move higher. Want to wait for that right there. Whenever you see, let's say, the out offer trades, is whenever you want to get long. Right over there. Right over there was the cue to possibly get long. Stop loss below that. Doesn't need to work out immediately. Just as long as we reclaim above the 40s, possible over there, also over there. Because by now, look at the risk. The risk is just too wide. You never know if we're gonna pull back in 38s, 5 points down, and then your thesis is not invalid. But here was the optimal entry, in my opinion, before reclaiming those 40s. But then we reclaim with strong buying. I'm not in this yet, right? Because I wanted to see if the market would have pulled back into where the buying started, right here, the 41s or the 42s. I was comfortable getting long, targeting the 60-55s, 60-65s, I'm sorry. Right, but right here, the market is not really pulling back. Would have wanted a quick pullback into the 42s, where the buying started, or right here, the 38s. That was never the case. Now, in the next couple minutes, we're going to see how ES is at this consolidation right here, right? Early on, I noticed, and, why should I enter long right now when the market has rallied 10 points from the low without a significant pullback? My reason for not entering right here was because I wanted to see the pullback. I wanted to see a pullback into, the 45s. I was mostly speculating the 45s to about the 42s, which was that, it was that level over there. It's kind of like where this buying started, the 41s, the 42s, and the 45s right here. So then right here, I don't know if the market's going to keep shooting up. Eventually needs to pull back, because right here, risk, at least for me, does not make much sense, at least at the moment, right? But whatever. If I missed it, I missed it. If not, I was okay with just simply letting the market develop. Now, what I wanted to see was that pullback. But looking at this, just holding right here for, like, I don't know, what's it, like 5 points, it was not enough for me to get long on the first pullback because of how much the market did rally. Like, I wanted to see some consolidation, some type of context for me to possibly get long, because technically it can work out. In this small pullback right here, the market would have just straight shoot up on a 1 minute chart. But what I wanted to see was if we actually did pull back into where the buying started, which was right here at the 42s. And I know the reason why I also said the 45s, I was trying to remember, was of this large out offer trade right here. The large out offer trade, the 45s, the 42s aligned with where the buying started. And by, let's call it by 10:03. So by 10:03, it's kind of where things became a little more clear, and I really, really like this consolidation. So by now we simply have some consolidation right here. Buying at the highs, buying at the lows. If you want to look at it on a chart, it looks just like this, right? Does it make sense to buy this area right here? Let's say the 47s. It technically does. It technically does make sense. Let's say getting long right here. But seeing consolidation, how I like to trade, I rather see a aggressive dip, just a sweep under this, stopping out some weak longs, just enticing some shorts, and then for the market to reclaim. That's exactly what I was looking for, because technically the market could have rallied from here and I would have missed this setup, absolutely. But seeing this consolidation, seeing kind of like weakness creeping in on ES, I wanted to see that quick dip into the market that happened exactly at 10:08. So I'm going to speed this up because right here, I'm just seeing, possibly some absorption. This is something I did notice right here. Look at that, 1,000 lots hitting the bid at the highs, and the market's not really moving lower. This definitely looked like an absorption to me, and it could have entered, totally valid to enter right here. Stop loss below the 45s. But to me, I wanted to see that quick dip into this, possibly into that level of interest, which was the 45s, for a higher move into the market, right? And that happens right at 10:08. So we're going to speed this up into that. I'm like, all right, I would really like to see this moving lower for that better entry. And it happens in this minute right here. So when I see a dip into this consolidation for a move higher, that's all that I was asking for. That's all I wanted to see. Quick dip into this, sweep, stopping out some weak longs for that possible trade to the upside. And the market does exactly that. Like we did dip. Now I want to be something clear. It was not the most aggressive dip. It was not the deepest dip. It was not the clearest dip into this that I would have wanted to see. But it was enough for me to speculate on this. Why? Because as soon as we dip and we reclaim this area right here of the 49s and the 50s, this was the cue for me to get long, targeting the 60-55s, 60-65s. We dipped over there, and I was honestly looking to speculating that this was going to dip a little more. This was not enough for a dip to me. But what made me click the buy button was when the buying started to speed up over there. I saw that reclaim as very high chances of this actually being the sweep that I was speculating on, and ES to move higher and actually break this consolidation. So as soon as the tape starts to speed up, I enter in this long. Technically, I could enter right now, having very tight stop loss, but I wanted to see if we either dipped a little more or if buying did step in. And this candle is when exactly buying does step in at 10:09. It's gonna be right over there. Right over there. Right over there. Right over there is my cue to get long. Actually, some offers stepping in over there. Right over there is when I enter long. All it needs is just some offer trades, and we're gonna target the 60s, 65s. I think it was right over there, or right here is when I enter long. Pretty sure it was right there. But anyway, I'm already long in this. I like the reclaim, like the dip over there. It's not the immediate reclaim. Well, it was immediate. I'm sorry, but it was not right away just straight shooting up to the upside. But it was enough for me to get long. And then the market started moving higher from here, right? We're gonna speed this up, and it was game on from there. It was game on from there. My stop loss was below this consolidation. It was right here at the 47s. So I was in at the 51s and 3/4. And from here, if it wanted to rally, great. And if it wanted to stop me out, I was okay with it. But I did like the buying to start coming in. We did break the high eventually. and this was game on. It was game on. That we then had some consolidation. I'm not gonna review the rest of the day. I just want to review my trade, the reason why I entered and I exit. I'm not gonna review all the action right here because I don't have time for that. But at 10:25, so I was starting the 65s as I mentioned. We had really strong buying over there, and then the signs of selling, kind of in hindsight, because the trade did not work out for me by 2 ticks. Just started coming in by kind of like 10:48, 10:57, around that, when the market was just consolidating right here. We attempted to sell off right here at 10:42, and then immediately reclaim, and I was really speculating the 65s were going to trigger, right? And then after that, I think my mistake was just simply not recognizing. I mean, we could have absolutely shoot up into the 65s as we attempted to do. 10:57. This was whenever we came the closest to my entry. This was high of the day, and then the market just never came to the highs again, and that was my mistake right here. And now looking back in hindsight, look at the buying right here at the highs. But then after that, look, selling starts to creep in. So I was saying the market from here started having some aggressive offer trade, bid trades actually. And look at the size of this, 359 lots hitting the bid at the highs. I don't think we exactly sold off from here. We actually made a lower high at 11:04. Is immediately over there. This offer did not get filled. I know that for sure because then the order got removed. But here could have been the cue to actually just exit this position. Now in hindsight, we were 2 ticks away from it right here, and we came really close. But by knowing this right here, that look at all the selling coming in. I mean, look at that, 500 lots at the offer, at the bid over there at the highs. This definitely, most likely, has slim chances of working out. Could have been that cute to exit, and talking all about this in hindsight because I did exit whenever we came close to my entry right here for 1 point gain after being almost 13 points up in this, being 1 hour in this. Really sucks, but nothing I can do about it. In hindsight, what if we did break the high eventually right here and just came into my entry? Should have, would have, could have exited right here, and then had it worked out on me, would have been pissed by missing, let's say, those 3-4 points. But in hindsight, it's all I can do. Should have recognized the weakness right here because it is actually large size. Now that I think about it, look at that, 800, almost 200 lots over there, and then this dip right here with aggressive size. Look at that, 200 lots in this right here, more than 200 lots. I mean, definitely were the signs of weakness. I don't think the footprint shows anything other than the buying at the highs, but it is what it is. I mean, that was the trade today. The reason why I entered was after I saw a sweep, after we did break the low, so that could have been the first entry. We reclaimed, we consolidated really well, and all I wanted to see was this, the sweep, which was right here. All I wanted to see was the sweep. Actually came right here, and then as soon as I saw buying and this moving higher, I entered long with the sweep speculation, targeting the 65s. That just never triggered.